Nigel Farage, or whomever is the next patriotic Prime Minister of this country, has already lost before they even begin. I'm going to tell you in this video about the latest development in a series of attacks that will guarantee that the next government has no power to do anything at all. I appreciate that the title to this video was a little bit clickbaity, and I appreciate that some of you might not like that, but let me be clear on something. This video is going to once again tell you the latest level on a campaign to ensure that whomever wins the next election cannot save this country, cannot change this country, and cannot defeat the vested interests that now destroy your lives and cost you a fortune, more so after the budget than ever before. Hello everyone, this is Andre Walker from somewhere in the Mediterranean. Yes, I'm off away on holiday. Honestly, I have to tell you, I've got so many legal problems at the moment that it was worth leaving the lawyers to it in Britain and coming over here for a little bit of respite. Please do donate to the Patriot Fund. Let me tell you something. The bad people that are coming after you and coming after me are not going to win. They're just going to try it on. So I'm not overly worried, although clearly your donations to Patriot Fund really very much do help, particularly at the moment. The link is in the description. I'll tell you more later, by the way. And Patriot Fund members know all about it. Anyway, let me tell you about a little video by Russell Quirke. Who is Russell Quirke? Russell Quirke is one of my colleagues on Talk TV, and he's recently won a local government by-election in Brentwood, in Essex. So you think, oh, come on. He's a part-time presenter on Talk TV, and he's a local councillor in a small district council that's going to be abolished in 2027 anyway. And I understand that and I accept that, and that's a reasonable point. However, what he talks about is simply unbelievable. Now, I'm going to tell you something else that's remarkable about Russell Quirke, and I don't know Essex very well. I'm originally from Manchester. I moved to West London when I moved to London, and now I live in Windsor, and this, of course, is none of those places. But when I look at Russell, I believe that he would be the man to be the leader of Essex County Council if there were an election tomorrow. But of course, there's not going to be an election tomorrow, nor was there a proper election this year, nor will there be a proper election next year. No, the Labour Party has decided they're going to finally break up the historic counties of England, those counties that basically in many respects predate the British government in its current form. The Lancashires, the Essex, the Surreys and the Kents, those places that many of us grew up in and many of us are proud of, they're going to be abolished. And there's going to be a negotiation on what replaces them. But here is the catch. The government has given these local authorities a choice. Do you want to have an election, even though these people are only going to be there for a year, or do you want to keep on with the current system? So let me tell you now about Essex. They've decided, by the way, to not have the election. But let me tell you about Essex. So the man who would be leader of Essex County Council, if the people of Essex were able to vote, doesn't even have a seat on the county council, nor can he get a seat, because there's going to be no way of having the election because they've abolished it next year. But moreover, he has a seat on the district council, Brentwood. Isn't that marvellous? Well, he has put down a motion to debate openly the idea of abolishing the elections next year. He doesn't even have a seconder. That's right. I mean, I do agree with the terms of this, that in any council, you need somebody to propose a motion, you need somebody to second the motion. Now, you could say, well, if you're on your own and nobody could second you, then that's a reasonable point, except for the fact, when you look at the polling in Essex, if you put it to a vote, he would win. And so what is the end result of this? Well, the end result is not just Russell Quirke in Essex. Many of you will know Myron Sentil Nathan in Surrey, and indeed other people up and down the country. What is happening now is that the negotiation on your future of your local authority will be decided between two groups. Number one, a group of Conservative councillors, it is mostly Conservative councillors in the counties, it will be decided between them, who are now lame ducks. Not only are they out of time, their elections have been much pushed back and abolished, but also if they were to face those elections, they'd lose. So not only are they lame ducks, but they're lame ducks that would have been killed if the election had come about anyway, and a Labour government, which is deeply unpopular. You can argue with me all day about the politics of anything, but let's be clear. Labour and the Conservatives are polling third and fourth at the moment. If there were to be elections, it would be a battle between Reform, Nigel Farage, love him or hate him, and Zach Polanski, love him or hate him. I've never tried to make my boobs bigger through hypnosis. Just trust me on that one. But that would be the decision. And so now what do we have? We have a group of people that nobody wants to negotiate the future, that nobody trusts to negotiate the future, talking with each other. Now, okay, so we're talking about local government. We're not talking about local government. Look at the abolition of juries. The way that the government has, first of all, the Labour government has, first of all, made judicial appointments political. They've ensured that they are only lefties that ever get in there, and the independent appointments panel, stacked as it is with left-wingers, guarantees judges are lefties. Abolish jury trial to get rid of the final vestiges of British freedom. Similarly, HOLAC, the House of Lords, ensure that HOLAC has a stronger position to get rid of members it doesn't like. All of this is related to Nigel Farage, or indeed related to Nick Tanconi, or indeed related to Ben Habib or Rupert Lowe. Doesn't bother me which patriotic leader you're talking about. Even Kemi Badenoch, who, by the way, for the first time was really good yesterday in that debate about the budget. She was right to call out Rachel Reeves. Oh, it's all because I'm a woman, it's misogyny. No, it's because you're shit. And let's just say that. But I'm telling you now, that project that began with Tony Blair, the stakeholder society, that idea that whichever way you vote, nothing will change. They are now burning down the building. They're saying to themselves, we know we're going to lose. We know there's no chance. We know there's going to be a patriotic, sensible government. We know that Britain is going to be taken back by the British. How can we stop it? And the way we stop it is to change the institutions so unrecognisably. Let me give you an example. I had a friend of mine who was telling me about the old days at Wandsworth Council. So Wandsworth Council used to be safe Labour, and it was won by the Conservatives in 1977 or thereabouts, a couple of years before Margaret Thatcher became the Prime Minister. And basically, they only thought they'd controlled it for 4 years. So they went in, people like Michael Charters, people like what's his name, from Chris Chope and others. They went into their offices, not the top level, but the middle level, and they said, what can we do? And they said, there's an estate in Battersea. And they said, well, okay, nobody wants to live in it. Sell the flats. Sell them? Nobody wants to rent them, let alone sell them. They said, if you offer people the opportunity to own their own home, then they will buy them. And they said when they went to work on the Monday, there was a queue for 4 miles. But what were they doing? They were saying, let's privatise everything in the 4 years before Labour come back, because we want to ruin the next Labour administration. What Labour is now doing is trying to so entrench socialism, so entrench benefitism, so entrench, I think it's called welfareism, so entrench the power of the vested interests, so entrench the power of the quangos, so ensure that democracy is impossible, that even if you win an election, you will win nothing. And of course, they've abolished these elections. So where is this video going? What do I mean by any of this? Well, I'm going to say this to you. I'm very worried about Britain, and I worry that we can't take it back, but at least we're going to have a go. The problem comes when every single policy of every single quango, of every single minister in every single department now is to ensure we can't get Britain back, to ensure that when the election comes, it will mean nothing, to ensure the House of Lords is taken over, to ensure the law lords and the judicial appointments are controlled, to ensure the councillors weren't elected, to ensure the local government changes are impossible. I will tell you something. The way we should run our country is the way we traditionally used to run it. Local parishes, districts and counties. But we're not going to get that. We're going to get regional mayors, and they will all be elected based on what is the will and the whim of the organisation, specifically the left-wing media that live in that area. Russell Quirke is not the only person in the country that is significant, and some of you in Essex may not want him to be the leader of Essex County Council, and I might have got that element completely wrong. And for those of you who feel that way, I do apologise. But next week, or in the next few weeks rather, Brentwood Council will not debate its future. It will not debate your right to democracy. It will not debate the ability of you to send in negotiators that you politically agree with. It will instead have a backroom deal, like Essex, the whole of Essex, like Lancashire, like Surrey, and like so many counties across the country. Those who negotiate on behalf of you will be people who don't agree with you politically, who'll be seeking to stop you politically, and that will be at the local level. And of course, at the national level, it will be the Keir Starmers and the Rachel Reeves of this world who actively hate you and wish that you drop dead and believe that uncontrolled immigration will at least dilute you enough so they never have to think about you or care about you ever again. Nigel Farage, or whoever is the next patriotic leader of this country, has got a problem, because this country is ungovernable, and it's been made ungovernable by the quangocracy, by the plutocracy that is being put in, and I fear very much for it. Good on Russell. I hope, I hope to make it down to Brentwood to see him not propose his motion at the council meeting. But that motion, if it were to be considered, would say simply this: I wish there to be a public debate. I wish there to be a public debate about whether our local democracy should be negotiated away by people unelected who would not win an election if there was an election anyway. God bless Russell Quirke, and I think that this story will resonate with so many other people. I know Myron Central Nathan as well. Please do subscribe, but please do also consider donating for the Patriot Fund. We've got political wars and wars with the police and wars with the judiciary as ever. Until next time, goodbye.